Human trafficking is a serious issue that many communities in the United States face. Human trafficking is defined as the use of force, fraud, or coercion of a person for labor or services for the commercial gain of the perpetrator. There are two main types of trafficking: sex trafficking and labor trafficking. Sex trafficking is when a commercial sex act is induced by force, fraud, or coercion, or in which the person induced to perform such act has not attained 18 years of age. This is what most people think of when they hear the term human trafficking. There is, however, another form of trafficking: labor trafficking. The Department of Health and Human Services states that forced labor is a situation in which victims are forced to work against their own will under the threat of violence or some other form of punishment. Their freedom is restricted and a degree of ownership is exerted. Someone who traffics people is known as a trafficker. Traffickers are usually somebody the victim knows, and it can be hard realizing that they are abusing you. They can be a boyfriend or girlfriend, a spouse, a family member, a boss, or a friend. It is important to understand that you are not at fault for being trafficked. Perpetrators will often use your relationship against you to get what they want. You are not stupid for trusting these people, and there is no shame in reaching out for help. Traffickers may use your immigration status against you, saying that you will be deported or thrown in jail if the authorities find out. There are forms of immigration relief available to victims of trafficking and certain crimes, such as the T visa. The T visa will allow you to apply for an employment authorization document, which will allow you to work lawfully in the United States. Eventually, a T visa can help you get a green card and allow you to become a lawful permanent resident. If you are certified as a trafficking victim by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, you are eligible to receive public benefits and services. It can sometimes be difficult to realize you are a victim of trafficking, especially if you do not know your rights. Remember, no one can force you to work against your own will. Collect a debt by using threats or forcing you to work to pay the debt. Force you to work using threats to harm you or your family. Force or pressure you into prostitution or to do other sex acts. Use you for any kind of sex work if you are under 18. Take away your passport, birth certificate, or identification card to control your movements. Traffickers might be evil, but that does not mean they are not smart. Traffickers often hide their victims in plain sight. In Wisconsin, our first big trafficking case was a Filipino couple who trafficked someone to work as a maid in their home. She worked 7 days a week, 16 hours a day, every day of the year for 19 years. She did not speak any English, and she lived in a suburb. She was isolated. No one noticed her because, on the rare occasions anyone saw her, she was just another Filipino person living in the house. The traffickers threatened her with the police and with immigration. In the end, it was the traffickers who went to prison and were deported. The victim never realized she was in trouble until it was too late. Another Wisconsin case involved Mexican men who were working in a cabbage field. Their traffickers threatened them with immigration and deportation. But just like the Filipino couple, no one noticed these men because most of the people working in the cabbage field were other Mexican men. There was just no reason to notice them as they fit right in with everyone else. There is no shame in realizing you are a trafficking victim. Traffickers will try and use their power against you, whether it's your personal relationship with them, your immigration status and/or documentation, or the use of violence to be able to maintain control. You are not dumb or stupid for being trafficked or trusting your trafficker. If you or someone you know is a trafficking victim, there are a couple things that you can do. If you or someone you know are in immediate danger, call 911 to report the situation to the police. If there is no immediate danger or you are not comfortable talking to the police, you can contact the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888. Victims, people who know victims, or even people who just have seen a situation that meets one of the criteria above are encouraged to call the hotline. The National Human Trafficking Hotline website also provides help finding local services to trafficking victims.